Welcome to the show. I'm Jacob Israel. I am happy you're here. I don't even know where to begin with all this. So I'm just going to try to take it piece by piece, and I want you all to kind of stick with me. I've been getting some interesting emails from all of you. Some of you saying that I'm something that I don't think I am, and making me out to be a little bit more than you should. But it is weird, and I'm sorry that I blew so many of you off. But as serious as I am, I really should have listened, because a lot of you sent me emails and you were sending me links of my own videos, and you were saying, "Hey, you did this and you said this and blah blah blah," and I looked at it, and I still didn't make any connections. And then one person after another person, whether it was John X Army calling me up going, "Jacob, you gotta listen to this, man." It was just like, I was like, okay, hey. And then it was like, he was just so on fire about Notre Dame and the fire, the collapse, and the connection between IPEC GOAT and other things, and the Crown of Thorns. That's why he was talking to me. And if you've watched this channel, you probably see we had a little back and forth. He called me the other day at work and recorded me. And thank you for doing that. I really appreciate. And I'm gonna, at the end of the show, if the show is even going, I don't even know if it's working right now. I don't even know if I'm talking to you. I hope I am. I'm going to link everybody at the end, because there is so much to get to. So let's start off with the thumbnail right there. Burning down the house. What does Nero have to do with all this, right? How could there possibly be connection? I'd like to ask in the chat room, if you guys can hear me okay, if you could tell me if anybody has made a connection to Nero here. Meaning, no, Sherry, Carol, I am not connected or related to Paul Begley. I like Paul, though. Tell Paul, get Jacob on the show. I want to talk about some serious stuff. How many people heard about this? You don't even know what I'm talking about yet, which is great. But how many people have made a connection? Have maybe thought of Nero out of the blue? Couple of people in the chat. Nero 666, Anthony C says, yes. That's where I'm going. We've saying, look, if you're new to the channel, this isn't a normal show. This is a live stream, a little more laid back. My other shows are a little more produced. So subscribe, and you'll see. But I've been talking a lot about a steady progression. Things that I like to use a jumping point that a lot of people on the channel are familiar with. It's the September 23rd sign. I like to use that as a jumping point, because where a lot of people were saying Jesus is going to return and the world's going to blow up, and everybody was all freaking everybody out, I was saying that something was going to be birthed within us, that it was almost like the truth was going to be, the fire was going to be fanned. All right, that's the way Christ comes, as a fire, consuming fire. And all the lies that we believe, they're going to start to go bye-bye, right? That's the Revelation 12 sign. It's connection to this. And I hope that everybody sticks around to the end of the show, because there are so many incredible, like, oh my goodness, the hairs on the back of my neck raising up. Thank you, Bear, my buddy Bear. I'm going to link his channel too. And John, and Marf, and KJ, and every other YouTuber that has done any show on Notre Dame. What I'm going to share today, they haven't covered, but they laid the groundwork, the foundation for all this, because everybody was talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. Buddy Bear was like, "You're going to talk about it. You're going to talk about it." I'm like, nah. There's so many people. And yeah. Oof, my goodness. The great deception. The great deception has begun. That's what I said. I said that we were going to see, this after this birthing take place, and you'd have to have that Antichrist figure. You'd have to have, by the end of the show, you're going to know what the Antichrist is, okay? Before you start painting a single guy, there will be a single guy that will play that role just like Nero did. By the end of the show, it's all going to make sense. Just stick with me. Stick with me. But Nero, he was known to be the Antichrist, some people said. It's interesting. It's interesting. Check out that picture of Trump to the left, right? Burning the house down. He's been compared to Nero a little bit. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see where this goes. Let's start off with today's news. A man was arrested today with gas cans and lighters. Now, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. It's kind of like, you have to create such a frenzy, and then there has to be somebody to blame. Nero did that, by the way. He blamed the Christians for the burning down of Rome. This show, I tell you. It's like I'm almost hoping that it's not, you know. No, I'm not. I shouldn't say that because I'm really excited for the end result. I'm really excited for the end result. You're going to see why. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Exciting for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, but terrifying for those that don't. So this story, this guy came in, and upon questioning him, his explanation for being the error wasn't legit. He went back to his minivan, I guess, and he grabbed a couple of cans of petrol, and was going to burn it down. Cardinal Timothy Dolan. See, I'm from New York, so when I got the news that St. Patrick's, you know, someone was going to try to light it on fire, I was like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense, right? A lot of people said that I had my eyes on religious sites, but I'm not the only one. My goodness, come on. A lot of people said that, you know, that you would have to tear down a system that is already standing and rebuild it with a new one, a new world order, right? There'd have to be a good enough explanation. There'd have to be enough excuses. There'd have to be something that would do this. And how do you build something again? Well, you burn it down. You burn it down. That's the truth. So let's talk about the chaplain and the cathedral fire and the race to the rescue. Notre Dame's relics. Okay. How many of you here love the fact that when these things happen, people start they start doing a little research, and then they're like, well, did they run any drills? Did they do like a drill? They did a drill. They did a drill. They were prepared for this. They were prepared for this. Let me show you here. Let's get over here and let's see if I can actually show you where it says it. Oh, I hope that I hope that I pulled this up. Let's see. Okay, so in the New York Times article, they talked about how they were prepared to save these relics. And I guess within the last year there was a drill to do. They did it twice. They knew exactly where to go. They knew exactly how to go, and they knew that crown of thorns had to be saved. The guy said in the article, you know, he said that was the most precious. That was the one that was the most important. Like, you had to get that. Why? Well, the crown represents an authority, a rule. You put a crown on a king. Okay? When the crown was put on Jesus, it was shame. It was fear. It was hate. It was prejudice. It was bias. It was everything ugly in the world. And that was what was forced upon him. Now, interesting enough, there's because the scriptures say that we're crucified with Christ, although nobody teaches this, nobody even understands what this means, but we all came into this world, and we were all, the ways of this world, the sins of this world were forced upon us. Forced upon us, right? Those thorns were pressed deep into Jesus's, Yahshua's skull, the temple. It's where your brain is, right? You're going to find out what the thorns are too. But this is not a beautiful, wonderful thing. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing what happened, sure, because we wouldn't know salvation if it weren't for that. I'm going to get into what that means by the end of the show as well. But this crown of thorns, the fact that it was adorned and protected, I didn't even know. See, now I'm a man of faith. I was just telling, who was I telling this to? I was telling this to somebody, whoever you are. And I'm a man of faith, and I think I told John this. Like, I seek everything out, but recently, and you saw because I talked about Jacob's pillow, I didn't even know. Like, I'm Jacob Israel, right? I didn't know that there was a literal stone. Like, all of a sudden, these relics are just coming out of the woodwork. These idols. Idols is what they are, just so you know, because you put your faith in it. It's an idol. The scriptures say, God says, actually, you don't make anything out of anything. You don't want to compare me to four-footed beasts. You don't want to compare me to anything in the earth. Don't compare me to anything below the earth, in the sea, above the sea. Don't compare God to anything. Scriptures say no one's seen God at any time. So you try to reduce God to the image of a fish and you put it on your bumper. It's kind of disrespectful, a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Creator of all things, and you're making him a fish, right? And you're putting big fish hats on, and you know that it's a phallus. That's okay. It's another show. Okay, so the Notre Dame fire happened. So John, man, he did some good shows on this. I'm definitely going to link it too. He did a couple of shows right here. So here you see the crown of thorns. Let me come over to the chat and make sure that everybody's can still hear me okay. Thank you, Believe Jesus is Lord. And Jason, thank you. Jason's always supporting the channel. I dig that. Damien, if you want to know what Jacob's Pillow is, I have a show on it. Just check it out. Subscribe, man. You definitely want to be watching, especially from here on out, because I have a feeling that we're going to get into some interesting days, and you're going to need to listen to this stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. It's like I want so, oh my goodness, we got over 1,000 people here already. Now that's a first. That's a first. And so do me a favor and hit the like, will you too? Help the channel out. Help the channel out. You'll see by the end of the show why you should. We're going to need to stick together. So John did these great shows, okay? The first one, if you look at it, it says it was supposed to burn. Now, I got to tell you something. I think that, John tapped into something there. And I think that, maybe it should have burned, that kind of a deal. And it was supposed to. In other words, the rule of shame and fear and degradation and prejudice and power and control and greed and lust, because that's what was thrust on Christ, the sins of the world, right? That's that crown? And you work so hard to get that crown? I got to tell you, I think it's interesting how John, and I know KJ did a show on this as well, which is good. I'm going to get into his point because I dig his channel, Scariest Movie Ever. You should check him out too. How when the tower fell in I Pet Goat, that the crown just disappeared right off of. And I got to tell you, that was done very. I mean, I looked at it today, and I have a tendency. Let me come back over here to you. I have a tendency. Okay, I'll be honest. I have a tendency of sometimes saying, "No, there's no way." And then, but when enough things happen, you're like, yeah, Hierophant, yeah, they were probably hired to spell it out, to put it out there for everybody in symbolic terms so you can understand it. Crown of Thorns just like disappeared when the spire of that, whether it was the cathedral or not, fell. Interesting. But really, it's a picture of the system of Babylon falling. Now, this is where the deception comes in. Okay, this is where the deception comes in. Because at the end of that, you see like, oh yeah, it's all good, it's all good. But it's not the real Christ. You getting me? He's got the all-seeing eye. It's not. This is the anti-Christ. It's the liar, the fraud. The faker. Faker. Liar, pants on fire, right? It's the goat. Don't be deceived, it's all part of the plan, was John's video, I think it was last night. Looks like 19 hours ago. And he actually shared something that I had said with him on that, which was great. And it's funny. Oh, I got to show you these texts because, and this just gives you a little inside scoop into, how my mind works, right? Like I was going to do this show and I wanted to do it yesterday. I wanted to do it last night, but I kept feeling like there's more. I got to wait. So, let's see. So John texts me. And, oh, here it is. And I was just thanking him. I said, I don't know let me see if there's anything important there before I share. So I basically, I don't know if you can read any of this, okay? But if you look at it, I don't know if it makes sense, but let me see. I'll just read some of it to you. I said, thanks for doing that. I said, the show is incomplete. I'm waiting on the next piece to drop. Now, what that means is that I know there's got to be something more. I just don't know what it is. And then it was like... I don't know, it must have been literally a half an hour later, I just kind of, give me a little information. And I'm like, let me clear my head, let me go for a walk, let me go grab a bagel, healthy one, scoop it, because, you got to eat relatively healthy. And it hits me. It's burning. Thinking Nero. I'm like, why am I thinking of Nero? So I wrote back, huge piece of the puzzle just dropped. Huge piece of the puzzle. Oh, the Dan's calling. I got to tell her we're doing a show. I love this. Hi, honey. I'm live and probably the biggest audience ever, actually. If you want to say hi to everybody, you can say hi. Hello.
Hi.
All right. I got to let you go, though, because it's serious business, baby. It's actually it. I love you, sweetheart. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. The Dan, she keeps me grounded. A lot of times I talk to her and I say, I want to share this. And she goes, wow, that sounds really crazy. But you probably should because it's probably true. That's the interesting thing. And I got good support in this house. I love it. Love my family. So, talking to John about this crown of thorns. Now, the thorns, to me, this crown was symbolic of, the beast system, the lie. So it was almost like we're going to crown the Antichrist, if you will. And I wasn't too cool about that. You know, a lot of people are saying that this is predictive programming that's been around. You know, just like this right here, right? Predictive programming. It was out there already. Well, then of course, you know, it didn't take long before people started looking for The Simpsons, and then here you have, you know, they want to burn it down. There's the cathedral. Got just love so many of you that just send me so much stuff, and it's unreal how many people send you stuff, and it's very helpful. It's really helpful for the channel. But the fact that you know, people are really focused on this. This is what they're missing. Okay, so there were these 2 training exercises that I said. There's the hero, the guy who saved the day, Father Fournier, right? Has emerged as the central figure, rescued the endangered treasures. It was a task that emergency workers had prepared for. Firefighters held a couple of drills at least, right? Couple of drills! Come on! I wonder if there's more. Do you think there's more? Let's see. Let's see if there's a little more. Let me raise the volume a little bit. Let's see if there's more to share with you, because I think there is. I think there is. And yeah, there is, because it took me boom. Okay. So, as I said, I got some emails from some people saying, Jacob, you know, I think you talked about this, and I got a bunch of different videos where they had said, you know, I was focused more on the mosque and Israel, just so you know. But this is an interesting thing, because the mosque went up, caught on fire at the same time. And look at this headline. Notre Dame, Alaskan fire gives Christians and Muslims a chance to work together to repair their sacred spaces. Sacred spaces, to repair them. It's interesting, because both of them caught on fire at the same time. And then another one was threatened today. It's interesting, right? KJ just did a show on this, and it was great. I love that he brought up the Pope, and that he has his Servant of Hope tour, where they call it the Chrislam, you know, where you're putting together of Christianity and Islam together. And let me see if I can let me pull up this for you. Let's see. There's a logo, Servant of Hope. So you see you know, you see the cross within the crescent. I was hoping there was a Gothard Tunnel connection. I'm sure there is that I'm not catching. But if you remember correctly, at the opening for that spooky tunnel, the 666 tunnel, you know, had like 666 cutters, and it was like 666 and everything. Everything was about 666, and the whole thing was just this big, gigantic, scary, like, just spooky. I had to take a shower after I watched it. I did a show on it a long time ago. It was when the channel first started taking off, and I'm like, this is the area you're putting me in. This is what I'm supposed to be talking about. But beginning of that ceremony, there was an interfaith, and they all blessed it. And you may have to see something like that. You'd have to see something like that. The system, right? There's already a beast in place. I'm so glad for those of you that are watching till the end, because I save all of the earth-shattering, adequate. I want to just tell you right now, but I want to build a case so that at the end you see that it's time to ask for the truth, no matter what the cost. Because the days we're in, very interesting. Servant of Hope tour, right? So, is there a gathering together? You know, there's a beast system's already in place. Is another beast about to rise? It's interesting. I started this whole video talking about Revelation 12, the Revelation 12 sign, where what happens is the child is born, and then the dragon is very angry and sets out to make war with the child and its remnant, its seed. It's 144,000. Whether it's the literal number or not. Is that the day we're in? Oh, wait and see. Wait and see. So, okay, so look, this is the email. It was one of the emails I got. Commented the other day, I thought you were a messenger. This proves it. Just so you know, messenger, we're all messengers. It just means somebody that, look, if you want to share the truth, all you got to do is seek it, and then it'll happen. You know, that's basically the way it works. You know, it's kind of like, why would you want to not serve If there is a God, right, which I know there is, I know there is. You can't. I walk around like I have so much stuff going on. There's no way that I could put stuff like this together. It comes. People sent me emails. People harassed me on the phone, calling me like from every angle. It was a nonstop. And there's a great passage that says, "In the voice of 2 or 3 witnesses, my word is established." So when you get enough coincidence, how many times have I said this to you? If you get enough coincidence, it's time to take a look at it. The video he was referencing, others referenced other videos, was this one, where let me transfer over and I'll show you. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring you through my my process of how all this came to be. So I'm like, well, what possibly? Remember this video I did, April 1st through the 9th will change the world? Will the world change, right? And this was kind of a goof that the Jerusalem Post posted, said that the elections were going to come up to April 1st instead of the 9th. I just knew that this election was really important because if Netanyahu won, the world was going to change indeed. And I was focused on a couple of things, and it reminded me of something that happened many years ago. But let me just play a little bit of this. Let's see.
April Fool's Day. The fool in his heart says there is no God. That is in Scripture. Now, why this is strange to me is that 7 years ago on April Fool's Day coming up, I was applying for a new job. And a mourning dove, my favorite bird, the one that's tattooed on my back, a symbol of peace and the Holy Spirit, flew into the bay window. During that interview, I walked outside, I saw it lying on the ground, and I knew that it meant something. But it wasn't until now that I wondered, could it be about the day we're about to enter into? I'd be lying if I didn't say it reminded me of the dream that I had in 2015 about Israel. Is there something that's going to happen on April 1st? Something that will change the world forever? I don't know. But it seems...
All right, so, it's... You focus on that area because you think to yourself, let me come back over to you. You think to yourself, it's like, well, I'm a storyteller. I'm a writer, which is interesting. I got a whole thing to tell you, once again, how... There's no way that there's not a greater plan. No way there's not a greater plan. But when you look at the story, it's pretty easy to kind of tell what's going to happen next, okay? So it was easy that when the Notre Dame, when we saw that we were going to then find someone who would blame somebody, a group of individuals. I wonder who that's going to be. I wonder who the extremists of today are. Oh, I hope I'm not in that category. I want to fly under the radar. I don't do anything wrong. But I wonder if it's going to be, truthers, we'll say. I'm not going to say it's truthers. But I wonder if they're going to start pointing the finger. I mean, they're already doing it, right? They're already doing it. The crackdown's begun. They got to now silence anybody. I mean, look. Christians have been persecuted for years, Muslims, Jews, people, every religion, every faith, because it's a beast system and they're going to persecute. But they're going to have to get everybody in line. How are they going to do that? How are they going to get everybody in line? Okay, so I get an email. I'm thinking, I don't know why everybody's telling me to talk about, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I get an email or a comment or something. I don't know. Someone sent me a video of Nero and how, it was Morgan Freeman and how Nero was he was the Antichrist. He was the bad guy, right? His name meant 666. Morgan Freeman is, but this was the, I don't know, let me see which one is this? This is Express, right? Okay, yeah. So this is Express, and look at the date, April 3rd, that they posted this. It's this month. Apocalypse solved. How archaeologists uncovered true identity of devil after Bible find. It's Nero. Wow. You have no idea where this is going, and it's great. It's great. It's great. So, I ignored it. I apologize. I ignored... I got a couple of people sent me this. It was the weirdest thing. And I ignored it. I don't even think I responded. I just kind of I don't need to talk about Nero. I don't need to think about Nero. Nero has nothing to do with anything, right? But when I told John in that text, I'm waiting for that other pace. What is the pace? And I start walking. It's burning, it's burning, it's burning. Rome, it's burning, right? And I picture Nero with the fiddle. And I go, that's it! Somebody sent me something about Nero. I go look, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it because obviously if I could, I would, you know, but it was a couple of people. I couldn't find it because I get so many comments and I get so many. So I looked it up and I said, this is weird. So then I just do a little research about Nero. And, you know, in St. Peter's, I think it's called the Basilica, you know, that place in the center, they got that, what is it called? Obelisk. I mean, Nero put that there. It's still there, right? Now it's supposed to be a monument for where he, he crucified Peter upside down. That's as the story goes. It's supposed to be a monument, but it's still the place where the Christians were beheaded, put to death. Beheaded is a big deal. Beheaded is a big deal when you see what? It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. Dan, it's too much. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, let me just keep on moving now. So someone sent me this thing. In 2017. Now why all of a sudden would Express Like an April bring up something from 2017, right? And why would someone decide out of the blue to send it to me? And why would another person decide to send it to me? And why would another person send it in threes? Why? So that I could then read a little bit about this. I'm talking to John, I'm talking to other people about how, that crown of thorns, I said on his show at work on my phone during my lunch break. I love how YouTube, I love it. It's the Antichrist crown. It's the crown of the beast. That's why it was saved. Something else was beheaded. We're going to get to that in a second. So weird. This is all so weird. So, I told you in the teaser. I told you in the teaser that there is a tie-in here. There's a tie-in to the Julian Assange arrest. There's a tie-in to the Israel's beer sheet mission. There's a tie-in to all of this. And there is. It's a pretty big one. And my daughter wants me to pick her up from track right now. Oh, someone else is going to do it. Okay, good. It's amazing how it all works out, right? It's amazing. This is just insane. This is all insane. Let me show you this. Let me just get this going. So I start thinking. I Googled Nero. And guess what opened up on April 11th of this year? Boom. Nero's opulent, newly restored Domus Transitoria reopens. On April 11th, Nero's palace. Nero's palace has been closed, renovated back to its former glory. To get to Nero's palace, you need to descend. Don't you think that's weird? Not weird yet, right? Not weird yet. Weird when you see all of the connections, especially because we said that starting with, the birthing, that there would be a time. Well, look, we're entering the back half, right? And I've done shows on the 7 years of plenty, the 7 years, right? We know about the eclipse, 7-year eclipse, Great American Eclipse. There's a tie-in to that too. I mean, it's like, I have faith and I believe all this stuff, but there's always that little can't be. But if this is all true, this is the day we're in, it's like you better know that you're more than this. You better know. Because Nero's palace has been opened again. Interesting. Weird connection. And look at the date that it's opened. People walk into the Domus Transitoria. I don't know how to pronounce it. The palace of the Roman emperor. It's interesting. Coincidental. Visitors to Nero's Domus, or transit house. A house of transition. What? Come on! Are you with me? I'm going to come to the chat. I got to see, is everybody feeling what I'm throwing down? Can you smell what Jacob's cooking? It's, yeah. Hopefully I haven't been frozen. Hopefully you can hear me good. Derek says, sounds great. That's probably from a long time ago. My goodness gracious. I really hope that all this is coming to you okay. I really hope this is coming to you okay. You know what's interesting? A while back, I looked and I said, wow, there's 1,040 people here, right? There's still 1,040 people here. That's strange. I don't know how many likes there are, but you better like. But once again, just an awesome, awesome, awesome thing. My goodness, look at all the people in the super chat. Crystal Light, thank you. Your sincerity is appreciated. I couldn't agree more with you. Shared the call. I emailed the video. That was a great breakdown of the game. Yeah, she did. She actually did it. Yeah, a lot of you. You emailed me that video too. That's right. Thank you all for what you do. I appreciate it. Soldier Audrey, thank you. Brian, thank you. Bruce Wayne is not Batman. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. This is more confirmation. A lot of people say, believe in Jesus, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, and new creation terror. I'm going to get out of here because all you probably feel like you need to send me some. You don't need to. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's helpful. It's helpful. Look, you know what's more helpful? Get the Uranus muck. It's a planet. That's actually something, because you know what? I don't like asking for stuff, so I figured I want to give you something that I thought would be kind of cool. And yes, I do have t-shirts coming. Okay, I do have t-shirts coming. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. Truth will change you, is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's kind of to be the first one. It's kind of important. April 11th's a big day. Why is that? What is that? What are the numbers for April 11th again? Is it, it's 411. When you dial 411 back in the day, what are you dialing? You're dialing for information. It's time to get some info. I keep seeing 411 everywhere. No joke. No joke. Even today I realized this is what I do my cardio at. 411. You know, I knew like April 11th was like, for whatever reason. I don't know why. Because there's 4, you have the 1, 1, 1, 1, you have 1, 1. I know it sounds nutty, right? Gematria, all that. I don't know. But like everywhere I look. You know, the weirdest thing is I upped my reps at the gym to 11. Instead of stopping at 10, now everything I do is 11. It's duality. The number's 11. It's duality. Twins torn down. One world going to replace it. There's a shift going on. There's a transition going on. Nero's transitory house. Yeah. You should share this. You should share this. You should tell people this. You should watch this show. Because this is what, you know, this is the shows that they talk about, all the people like, the prophecies unfolding, you know, that kind of stuff. This is prophecy. This is prophecy, which means it's, you know, not like we're predicting anything, but it's like you're witnessing and you're giving the testimony of Christ. You're seeing it play out. Transition. You know what else happened on April 11th? Israel's Beresheet spacecraft crashed into the moon. It crashed. Now this is interesting because I talked to Bear about this. There was something that was on board the Beresheet mission. It was the civilization backup plan. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. It was the civilization backup plan. It was like a quartz disk or something, and it had something like, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of information, like the hundreds of millions of pages or something. So if aliens came, it would be an accurate representation of the human race. If the human race, you know, started to peter out, it would add all the information there, everything that we would need to restart. I don't know how we get to the moon, unless there's already stuff going on up there, or if it doesn't exist. I don't know. I don't know what to say to a lot of you. I love you. I love you all. But it crashed on April 11th. The civilization backup plan failed. Did it? I don't know. But on board, you see, because this is all black magic, right? This is all witchcraft. That's what they say. And you look back at my videos. I have these spooky videos, and then they're very inspiring. But it's clickbaity, yeah, but 100% accurate to the show. I talked about how witches were rising. I had a dream about witches. It was horrible. Oh, God, it was such a bad dream. I don't know what I'm going to tell you, because I know Jason and I am Chris hates dreams. And I had this dream where, you know, there was a bunch of witches, and they were coming out of the forest, and there were all these thorns That's crazy! You just witnessed it. That's what the thorns were everywhere in this dream. Bear will attest to this. I should call him up. But the thorns were everywhere because I think he actually sent me a text about this dream of thorns. And it was like strangling the forest, and it was coming up to my house, and I had a machete, and I went, whack! And the thorns didn't make it up, and I stood up on the second floor, and I was looking down, and like this head witch, and I'm like, nah, no thorns in my house. It's interesting. And here I'm talking about the crown of thorns. I got to see, I love how this, I got to see if I can show you this so that I can prove it, because it sounds like, you know, oh, here it is, right here. Here it is. He sent me, oh, look, here's more proof. Look what he was sending me on Monday. He's like, dude, you got to talk about this. Notre Dame. The old order is collapsing. And he's right, you know? He's right. And then he says over here, so I'm sitting there taking his dog to take a pee. He's a very deep dude. He is. He's going to love this. And thinking about the cut brambles on your house. Brambles, thorns. And a voice in my head says, huh? Looks like he's going to be safe from the woodsman. These are the texts that I get from my friends. I don't talk to a lot of people. If you're on the list, it's a very small list. I don't talk to a lot of people. You wonder why. So I have this dream about these thorns everywhere. And that was, I mean, that was just, it like disturbed me. I liked the fact at the end of the dream that I went whack, and I wouldn't let the thorns go up, because the thorns in Scripture, let me explain, are the cares of the world, the deceitfulness of riches. Yeah. And that's not a good thing to be ruled by. Get it? Not a good thing to be ruled by. When you give it a crown of thorns, you know what you scream out on the cross? Father, why have you forsaken me? God, where'd you go? Look at the world. Look at it. It's a mess. Where'd you go? That's because you're being ruled by a crown of thorns. Thorns. The dream I have. It's so crazy. That's kind of cool that happened. I think that's another reason to share, you know? And I proved it. You know, other people lie. I don't lie. I lie. Everybody lies a little bit, right? In life, especially if you're trying to get away with eating some cookies when you shouldn't. I only had 2, I promise. The kids are looking at me, and I got like the whole bag upstairs, and they're gluten-free, so don't give me a hard time. This crashed on April 11th. Nice transition, right? Look at what else. Look at what else was on board, because it's all about black magic. It's all about witchcraft, right? It's all about that. And look what was on board. Boom. David Copperfield's secret magic techniques crash landed on the moon. What was David Copperfield's magic doing on the civilization backup plan? Why would anybody learn or need to learn about how to deceive people? You see where I'm going with this, right? You don't see. You don't see. This is, I've never been this excited about a video before. I know I keep hyping the end. Yeah, it's not hype enough. So you got on April 11th, you got Nero's opening, right? What else you got? You got Julian Assange getting arrested too. Free speech. The world changed. Did that video. The cathedral, the mosque, St. Patrick's. The old guard, as Bear was saying, it's coming down. The first beast of Revelation gets a fatal wound. It's interesting. So let's read a little bit about this. I can't wait till the end of the show. All right. The loss of Israel's Beresheet lander during its descent to the lunar surface was unfortunate. Okay, now this happened once again, April 11th. The data was kept on the Ark. Ark! It was called the Ark mission. I've done shows on it. You don't got to worry about it. But here, look at the bottom. In a plot twist no one could have seen coming, because you don't see deceit. It's there, hiding. I guarantee a lot of you didn't even know about all this. It's interesting. A lot of people covering the one thing because we, but yet I don't even gotta go through. I'm just like, just tell me. And then boom, it just falls into my lap. One thing after another thing after another thing. That's what faith does. Start seeking, guys. Start seeking. Among all of the stuff that was encoded was the magician's secret technological innovations. You mean magic tricks? Is that secret technological innovations? What? What is that about? I don't get it. Is magic? We talking, you send magic to the moon, or are we talking something else? Are we talking some bunch of witches in my backyard with a bunch of thorns trying to take over? Are we talking that? David? I wonder if David ever made a cathedral disappear. That thought came to mind too. I wanted to look it up. Maybe someone in the chat can check that out and let me know. I don't know. I don't think he did, but that would be weird. So, but there's more. There's more. April 11th's a big day, right? So where we have this going down, the Ark mission on the 11th. We have Nero's palace opening up on the 11th. We also have, guess what? Bada bing, bada boom. Julian Assange. Assange's lawyer, right? This is the, that was that early morning tweet on April 11th. The transitory house. Transitioning. Which we said was going to happen. I mean the collective, audience of YouTube, the people that are, in this niche world. Hope you're all doing well. I love y'all. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for telling people about my channel. I do appreciate that. And Marf too. He was on. He just wants to help me out all the time. He's giving me such great advice on what cameras to get. And I got to thank him. I really appreciate that. There's some good people out there, and they get a hard time from a lot of people. And we're going to need to come together. And one of the things that I tell a lot of these guys, because they're younger than me, right? They're in their 30s, and it's around time Jesus takes over, 30 years old to 33. Those are the big dates, right? I'm 48. Come on. I'm looking towards 50. I think something 50, by the way, when I'm 50, if we go back to this video, when I'm 50, the whole world's going to know me because my book's going to be, huge, movies and all that stuff. It's written. I wrote it in my novel, so it would be proof when it happened. I know, I'm nuts. Okay, so Julian Assange, April 11th. Big deal, right? Big deal. But you know what else is a big deal? Look what was going down before the Notre Dame statues were taken down. You see that picture? That's a statue. And it has no head. Yep. Well, before the fire, they already had, remember they had some, they had, what did they have? They had the drills. They had 2 drills, right? They had 2 drills. They were ready for it. Get the crown of thorns out. But they were already renovating it. It was already happening. But one of the things that they did in the renovation, it's interesting. You're going to like this. It's going to freak you out. Because it freaked me out. It really freaked me out. I got to tell you. It was weird. It's so disturbing, this picture. It just bothers me. I just want to cry. Look at this picture. Anybody know what that is? I'm going to come over to the chat and I'm going to leave that up for a second. I want that to sink in. Anybody know what that is? Anybody? Those, my friends, are the apostles. Beheaded. Beheaded. You know what day they were taken down? April 11th. It's interesting, right? Beheaded. How many people heard about this? How many people saw this? Anybody see this? Wow, beheaded, Christy H says. Yes, exactly. Wow, wow, a lot of wows. I told you were going to get some. I told you were going to get those little things. Oh my goodness, there are still 1,040 people watching, unless my computer stinks, so it's probably more. And if it is, thank you. And if it is, hit the like, will you? No, nobody heard about this, right? I'm sure you guys didn't hear about a lot of this stuff. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. So strange. Those are the apostles and the 4 evangelists. They were removed on April 11th. You don't believe me? Here, let me show you. Let me show you. Let me see. Do I have it anywhere? I don't have it. I don't have it anywhere. But they were. April 11th is when they were moved. Same day that Nero's opulent palace opened up again, which you got to walk down to get to. So you got the 12 apostles. You got the 12 tribes of Israel beheaded. What does that mean? Where do you think from? The body and the head disconnected. So the body of the tribes of Israel and the head disconnected. Now here's the good news. They were sent off for restoration. You see, everything in the natural is explaining something beautiful in the spiritual as well. The heads are going to be put back on. Why were they removed? Why were they removed? And why were they made a spectacle as they were being dragged and carted away on April 11th? And the beer sheet thing. The black magic. So bizarre. And I haven't even gotten done with, I haven't even gotten to the most disturbing part. Most disturbing part. On display for everybody to see, right? Okay, let's go to this right here. Take a wild guess who was known for beheading Christians. Emperor Nero. Who took power and persecuted Christians after there was a major fire that was set. And he blamed a certain sect. He blamed the Christians for the fires in Rome. He ended up beheading Paul. That's how the story goes. I still don't remember a literal crown of thorns. I don't remember all of these icons, these idols. I think that we're being swerved, if you will. Because see, if you put your faith in these things, if you put your faith in that, and you think that's a holy relic, that God doesn't care about the natural man, the outward man perishes. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about how you put all gold on, you made it look all cool. He doesn't care that you saved it from the fire that you probably started to begin with. I'm not saying that they did. It's a terrible thing, right? A lot of people in mourning. And yet, 2 fires, same day, 2 holy sites, major religions, Chrislam, all of these things. Macron's speech. Burn it down, burn it down. It's burning, Rome is burning. I get that thought. And I remember everybody sending me all this stuff. And this show comes together. This show comes together. It didn't come from, where did it come from? I don't know. I was inspired. I don't know. Dumb luck, right? Dumb luck. Nero. Okay, you ready for this? So, let's talk a little bit about the crown of thorns, okay? Because if we're talking about Paul, Paul had a thorn in his flesh. I have a video on that. It tells you exactly what the thorn is. Remember? Cares of the world, deceitfulness of riches. Let's take a look at it, okay? Just so you know that I'm not making up stories. But this, I think this is Matthew 13. For this people's heart is wax gross. Man, ain't that the truth. I know a lot of you right here, you maybe kind of believe, but you really, a lot of you really think, well, we'll wait and see. We'll just cover our bets. Sitting on the fence, right? Whew. Everybody's worried about what happens after death. Wouldn't it be better to have faith now if things happen? Good grief. Just seek the truth, will you? Okay, so yeah, people today, they're dumb. They don't hear the truth. They're not seeing the truth. Their eyes are closed. They have no idea. Nobody has any idea about all these videos about the Notre Dame Cathedral. Nobody's seeing all this stuff put together, right? Everybody with the prophecies, everybody with this. I know nothing. I know nothing. I had no idea that the cathedral was going to be burned. I had an idea that a major holy site was going to go, right? And I thought it was going to be the mosque because I thought that the new temple was going to be built. And I think it's going to still happen because in the natural it has to happen. In the natural it has to happen. This makes more sense. This actually makes more sense. This is more clever, you know, because we've been conditioned to think that this is an enemy, but this is not the enemy, and yet the enemy's staring us right in the face. The enemy took off the heads of the apostles. The enemy, his castle is up again. It's up and running. You can visit it. You go downstairs. The enemy, Nero. The crown of thorns is saved. But what are the thorns? I would love for you all. I talk to people. Oh, it's difficult because you sound nuts if you have real faith today, because everybody's been conditioned to believe that real faith is nutty. It's difficult. Wish some of you would just go to God, just go and just, you'll figure it out. You don't need to believe me. Jesus said, you don't believe me, believe the works. Believe the stuff that's happening, okay? Blessed are your eyes, a lot of you in the chat, for you see, and your ears, because you hear, you're here. For verily I say to you, truly I say to you, many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things that we're seeing today. Many people have desired to see the things that we're seeing today. They have desired it. Preachers have been preaching about it forever, but you're seeing it. It's happening. In this video, God's work is being manifested. This plan is coming out. It's so incredibly intricate, and it's an amazing collaboration of things that just only could be orchestrated by a bigger hand, and the ignorant hand that thinks that it's in control. Deceit. The great deception has begun. It's so great that even the elect, even the people that are people, I'll say like me, I'm not saying I'm elect, but I am. I mean, why wouldn't I want to be? Okay? Why wouldn't I? Okay? So yes, even me, I can fall into this nonsense. It's so great. That's why you gotta have faith and you gotta love. Just makes it easy. Just love. You don't know what the truth is. Just love. That'll get you going. Many prophets have desired to see that. They haven't seen them. They haven't heard them. So now you need to hear the parable of the sower. Now you need to hear the parable of the sower. Okay? Sower's going out in the field and he's sowing seed. Some of it falls among good earth. Some of it falls among stony ground. Some of it falls among thorns. As I'm speaking to you, there's a lot of you in the chat. Some of it's good earth. Some of it's stones. Some of it's thorns. Some of this is going to stick and it's going to grow and it's going to produce. Some of it, enemy's going to come in and pick it away. The negative thoughts in your head. Just don't listen to him. This guy's a nut. Look at him with drinking out of his Uranus cup. He's just trying to sell merch. Yeah, because it'll be helpful to the channel. You get tired of working 2 jobs, But I don't care. I'm happy with it. I'd rather you get the mug if you want to get the mug, but don't feel like you have to. Okay. Verily I say to you, everybody's wanted to see it, but nobody's seen it. Here you are now. Now you need to know the parable. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and understands it, then comes the wicked one, those negative thoughts, and catches it away. But he that receives the seed in stony places, the same as he that hears the word and has joy when he receives it, but it doesn't take root. He also that receives seed among the thorns. This is where the scriptures reveal what the thorns are. Adam had thorns, thorns and thistles. Thorns are all over scripture. What are they? They are the deceitfulness of riches and the care of this world. The beast system. That's the crown. That's what was saved. The rule of the deceitfulness of riches and the cares of this world, so you can't be free. And why? Because Nero is reigning. So who do you think Nero is, right? I don't know. I think that John says that the Antichrists are already in the world. So it's not like it's a literal person, but the Antichrists are already in the world. But let me show you something, because this is where it gets even more interesting. Because I'm almost done. Oh gosh, I got so much more to go. Okay, so here's the sign. 2017. We all remember that. That's where it began. Revelation 12. Revelation 12 happened 2017. You follow the story. What's the next chapter? What follows Revelation 12? Revelation 13, right? Okay. Now I'm not saying that this is the way it goes, but yeah, I'm saying it's the way it goes. You ready? Let's find this together. Let's go to Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. This religious system is it's a blasphemy. It is. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and the mouth was the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him power and a seat and great authority. A lot of people say, oh, it's China, it's Russia, it's blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got their thing, right? But the beast is a system that's got you. The beast is an invisible thing that's in charge, and it has 7 heads and 10 horns and horns. You see what I'm saying? It's not one particular thing. And on one of his heads, just one, as if it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, the first beast. And they worshipped the dragon that gave power to the beast, the one that fell, the one that had the head wound, who is like the beast, who's able to make war with him. And he opened his mouth and blasphemies against God. Now we know that this is coming. Now, but what is coming? To make war with the saints. And to overcome them. And power was given over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Now, what kind of power? We're talking like AI superpower. We're talking biometrics everywhere. We're talking digital currency. We're talking you either got the mark of the beast or you don't. All that dwell upon the earth shall worship this. It's another beast. Now watch this. He that leads captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed by the sword. Here is the patience of the saints. And this is where the story gets good. Because I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like the lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. And he caused the earth and all them that worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. We're going to heal the division between all the religious dominations. Babylon the Great is fallen. So that he does wonders to make fire come down from heaven. That's a bit on the nose, don't you think? That's a bit on the nose. To make war with the saints. Who are the saints? Saints were beheaded. Symbolically. In front of everybody. First beast down, right? The other one being rebuilt. Macron, Notre Dame will rebuild in 5 years, more beautiful than before, because he said history repeats itself. This is all part of the plan. 5 years' time, you know what happens? This is weird. Because I had said back during the day, I said that this eclipse was going to start this 7-year period. 7-year period of the second half, where things were going to get hard. You know? And Jacob's story in the Bible, he was part of that, right? So when the famine came, he had huge flocks. He had like 130-something thousand subscribers, you could say. Allegorically. No, but he had huge flocks, and he was still in the wilderness, right? And he had to go into Egypt. He had to send his sons into Egypt so that, he could make a living. The good news is, one of his sons, this is where the prophecy in Scripture comes in. Out of Jacob comes Shiloh. Shiloh is, probably never heard of the name Shiloh. My daughter's name is Shiloh, which is kind of cool. She was born on September 11th, by the way. Same time the tower hit 2 years later. Remember I told you Mars was close to the Earth. It's going to be that way again. So Shiloh, a star shall come out of Jacob in a scepter. And the lawgiver shall not depart until Shiloh come, until Shiloh be revealed. Shiloh is the giver of rest. Until it's another way of looking at Christ's return, if you will. At the day when, we will be given rest. And the good news is, in Jacob's story, Joseph ends up over there working for Pharaoh. And he helps everybody through that. Through that back 7 years. Which, by the way, there's a huge downturn right now we hear in the markets. It's interesting. Macron's going to be finished with that. See, here's the thing. How many of you are hurting? How many of you are struggling financially? And they're sending how much money? All this money pledged. Why are all the big wig players who don't even have to pay taxes, while we're all struggling to make our due, why are they all sending billions of dollars to have the beast system rebuilt and bragging about it? You should take some of that money, and once you put an end to all the hate, Why don't you put an end to all the poverty? Why don't you put an end to all the lack of education? Why don't you put an end to all the violence? Why don't you put an end to the drug use? Put an end to the cartels. All these things that you don't think the system's behind. Gonna rebuild it. Second beast. All the power of the first. April 2024. That's 5 years. That's from 5 years. That's a crazy, crazy coincidence to me. Crazy coincidence. I don't know if it's something that we should completely concern ourselves with. But I do know that we should keep watch, become vigilant, because, you know, the European Council on Foreign Relations says, courting Nero, Macron, Merkel, and the state of relations with Trump. That's right. People have been comparing Trump to Nero for years. And I never saw it. When you all sent me those, well, it was like 3 of you sent me a video, which I couldn't find. I don't know who it was. Thank you, whoever it was. Maybe it was Crystal Light. Thank you. And I was like, okay, I don't really want to watch the Nero thing. I'm not really in the mood. Meanwhile, it was like the clutch pin. It was the key. It was the piece of the puzzle. Courting Nero. Now, I'm not saying that Trump is. I'm not saying that he is. But Nero's palace is open. Is Trump the new Nero? That's just recently, March 19th. It's interesting. Many say it's him. Look at the dates. Who's Bill Weld and why do we care? March 13th. Reminds me of Nero. George from Ireland says, Trump is the modern Nero. Don't you know? Top of the morning to you. Trump's the Nero. Don't you know? You just got it. Go subscribe to George from Ireland. I don't know. I haven't watched this video. Noam Chomsky. Trump administration like Nero. Interesting. You see? New Zealand. Burning down a house. 2017. On Cyrus's coin. Moves the town. This guy is doing things that no president's done before. Cover of The Economist. Judgment is coming to the world in the form of Trump. Judgment came to the world in the form of Nero. Are they the same? I don't believe so. I don't know. But I do know that the palace is open for business. And I'm not showing up. And I could care less about that crown of thorns because I'm ruled by something much greater than that. And you better put on that breastplate and that helmet. You know, they say that salvation and faith. That's all you need. The hope of salvation. We're going to come out of this. People in that scripture in Matthew 13, they've been dying to see this day and they didn't. You have any idea how lucky you are? You're going to be all like, I can't get demonetized all the time. Meanwhile, look at what's going on. It's burning. It's burning. It's burning. I love each and every one of you. I want to say I'm going to say goodbye in the super chat, and because there's nothing worse than somebody going out of their way to just support the channel and support the show, and me not saying a thing. I want to thank you all, and I wonder if I'm still at 1040. Yeah, of course it says I'm still at 1040. That's strange. I mean, it's stuck there. It's stuck there. But whatever. Jody Wolf, oh my goodness, $24. Thank Christy H, $20. Julie Hay, they $10. I love you too from the UK. Joshua, $5. You're a new sub. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy you're here. Tweet Girl Stacy, $5. Andrew, all you people are just amazing. And I hope that you all, listen, do me a favor. Share this one around, all right? I think this one's got to go viral. I think it's going to go viral. I hope it goes viral. I think people need to know this. I don't know. You tell me. It's burning. It's burning. It's burning. It's time to bring the